when you come to a space like Edmonton Unlimited, or you go to Amy, or tonight you go to Tech Wednesday, the startup ecosystem, especially in tech, is really wonderful. You can find the whole week many events for you to go to. Even for ATB, the Bank of Alberta, they have entrepreneur event and hub, so that you can go and ask them anything. If you want to set up your business, you have business link. It's also free for you. And if you would like to get the clarity about the law or anything, you go to City of Edmonton. They also have a hub to help the startup to do that, even for free. And after you set up your startup, your company, and you still need legal support, you can go to some university like post-secondary institution, and they have student in laws. They can give you the free advice. That's not official, but like you understand a lot more before you work with a lawyer, and that's precious.
It sounds like everything is free as
Yeah.
being a startup founder here.
Yeah, it seems to me like that. Everything is free.
Hi everyone, this is Audrey here, and today we are at the Mini CEO podcast, and special episode here is that I'm in Edmonton, Canada, and today we have here Ann from Travel Alberta Living, and we are going to interview her about why she founded this startup in Edmonton, about telling people beautiful stories about Edmonton. Yeah. Anne, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi Audrey. This is really a nice surprise for me because you follow me from the LinkedIn and you invite me for this mini podcast. That's really a nice surprise, and it's even surprising more when you tell me that you came all the way from Malaysia to Edmonton
Yes.
for the 𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏. That's really exciting, and I've been to Malaysia many times before, and sometimes we find somebody from Southeast Asia, and I'm also from Southeast Asia originally. So that's very nice to be present as one of the guest speaker of your mini podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. And today we had a long day. Today is a day 2 at 𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, right?
Right.
And there's so many stage going on. There's so many speakers. It's so inspiring.
Yeah.
There's John Carmack, which is a RL in gaming person. He's an
Yeah.
expert. And the last one we just came from was venture capitalist.
Investing in AI, and how the
Startup.
startup can invest in AI while keep balancing with other purpose.
Exactly.
Right?
They talk about how Canadian startup can
Yeah.
raise funds as well, and I'm interested to hear
Yes.
from you
So exciting.
as a Canadian startup.
Yeah, a little bit about myself. I am Ann Nguyen. I have been living in Edmonton, Canada for about 3 years. And before that, I used to live in Paris, France for more than 4 years. And I got my MBA in entrepreneurship and innovation in Paris. So that's why innovation, entrepreneurship, startup is in my blood. And this is not the first time I create a startup in my life. And before that, I originally came from Southeast Asia, from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. A little bit about my startup, about myself as well. I am a world traveler. I have been to more than 40 countries in the world and hundreds of cities. So I am an explorer in nature. When I came to Edmonton, at first I was not sure if I stay here, because I came here for another purpose. And I say, oh, Canada. People say that Canada is so cold. I would like to try if I can bear the minus 40-degree coldness in Edmonton. So I stay here. And after the first winter, I find it so exciting. After the second winter, there's still so many things to explore. And I came to get my permanent residency here last year, and I decided to stay here I think for the rest of my life. And I will build up my business here, and I will contribute to the development of the tourism in Alberta.
Okay, I'm very curious why specifically tourism in Edmonton in Alberta, because was it because of your domain expert in the past that you have been working as a, I don't know, in the travel industry? Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. As I told you, I am a world traveler. So when I come to a new place, I always see the potential of the place, not only about the beautiful nature, about the culture, but from my perspective, as someone who got a master in entrepreneurship, I see a big potential in Alberta, and why Edmonton is the capital city of Alberta, and I happen to be here. So many people around me, they say that, oh, there's nothing to do in Edmonton, and many people who live here for a very long time ago, and they heard about me. They say, wow, you move. Why don't you live in Quebec? You speak French. Why don't you live in Quebec? Why don't you live in Toronto or Montreal or Ottawa? But in Edmonton, I say, oh, I happen to be here and I want to discover. And the more I know about Edmonton, I know more about it. People used to call this city Edmonton, Edmonton.
I actually feel it, even though I just arrived like last Sunday. I arrived last Sunday in Edmonton, and Monday was a Victoria Day, so it was a holiday for everyone here. And these couple of days, it was so quiet that it gives me shivers because there's no one on the street in downtown Edmonton. And that freaks me out, to be honest, because in Southeast Asia we're so used to seeing people everywhere.
Yeah.
Even though whether it's driving or walking at the
Yeah.
street is just filled with people, and here the population is so low.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, when I hear that you want to do travel startup in Edmonton, what I was thinking about is that you're trying to attract more tourists here. Is that one of your purpose?
Yeah, before, like 20 years ago, the city was called Edmonton, and even now people still have that impression that there's nothing to do in Edmonton.
Yeah.
But like from my perspective, I came here, and when I come to a new place, just like I had been to many places before in Europe, in Asia, in Middle East, even in Africa. I'm an explorer. I explore every corner. And when I came to Edmonton, from January to December, I always find something new to do and something interesting. And although you came here on a public holiday, so people stay home for family gathering, or they travel far. That's why you don't see a lot of people.
All right, that's
But
my fault.
That's when you came back in a month or so, you will see a lot of festival happening in downtown area.
Wow.
And Edmonton is also called the city of festival, because we have nearly 60 festivals year round. We have festival in spring, we have festival in summer, in fall, in winter. All the time we have something to do, but we need to move out and discover. And I find that Edmonton is not so far from Calgary or from other natural sites in Banff, in Jasper, in Rocky Mountains. And we drive around 3 hours or 4 hours.
Yeah.
We can go to a lot of beautiful places. And even here in Edmonton, so we divided into some different area. Now we are in downtown area.
Yes.
And before, there was so many bad reputation about downtown area. There are a lot of homeless people. It's unsafe, and people don't want to come here. And it's so complicated. Even right now, the parking is quite complicated, and we need to improve the public transportation so that people can come here. But like in downtown area, especially at 𝘳𝘁𝘲𝘀, I may take you there for a while to see at 𝘳𝘁𝘲𝘀. In summer, I always come there. I sit all day because there are festival nearly every day. And when we come there, we see people dancing, people singing, and I have a different perspective from many other people, because I used to live in Paris, in Europe, and I like the elegance and the sense of art of Europe.
Yeah.
And when I came here and I came to the art district, you will not know that in the art district, in downtown, not far from here. We are the second biggest art district in North America.
No idea about that. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to share about my personal story is that I couldn't get the bus card, which is called the My Art card.
Mm.
It was because just a slightly bad experience I just want to share as someone new to this city, right? I went to the ETS transit center, and there's two rooms. That's the waiting room for the train, and I tried to buy my art card, and the machines is right in there, and it was filled with homeless people, and basically they are taking drugs openly there, and it kind of freaks me out because I never really be in a room full of these peoples, and that, yeah, it's a cultural shock for me. And I couldn't get the my art card, which I supposed to get because of I was trying really hard with my credit card, and I was so afraid that I just couldn't get it. Then I just left and take Uber back to my place.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, until now I still couldn't travel by bus or LRT because of that.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that, because you are in the downtown area, and here there are quite a lot of homeless, and the government is trying to do something to improve the situation.
Yeah.
And I think they will do that very soon.
Yeah.
They have a big funding to improve the homeless situation in the downtown area. But from my experience, I used to live in Europe, I used to live in Asia. When I come to know more about the population here, about the different people here, I feel less scared. Even from the beginning I come here, some people, they get drunk, or they look untidy in a way, and they may scare you. But in deep, they are not
Bad
like
people.
bad people. They just have inferiority complex from
Yeah.
the background of the ethnicity. They are the indigenous people. Most of them are indigenous people, and they suffer from a lot of pain in the past, in the history, and still now they still suffering from that. There are many successful indigenous people, but a lot of them are still in this situation. But from their hurt, except when they get drug, and they become serious, that's why quite scareful. However, I think not everywhere in Edmonton is like that. When you go to Edmonton, you at the core of where there was situation about the homeless
Yeah.
situation. But when you go to different area, and or you have a car, you will not get into all this. But as for me, I have to take public transportation for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I first came here, I have to wait a year to be able to drive, to have the class 5. But if we buy our car online, we don't have problem. And if we buy at the machine, you you may ask for more experience about that. But I agree with you that we need to improve the public transportation in the city to make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more about your story because when we were walking here from the 𝘂𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗀 event, it was just a few blocks away. Passing by the Amy building here, where we are, is actually Edmonton Unlimited. It's actually a place where all startup founders gather, and it's surprising that Anne just brought me in here. I just walked right in and booked a room, and we are doing this podcast here. So while we were walking over here, there was stories that Anne told me about the indigenous people in Canada, here in Alberta as well. They have this, I don't know,
They
you can
suffer
explain
from
more about the 𝘬𝗏𝘬𝗏.
Yeah. We are here in the Treaty 7 that belongs, we are in the land of the indigenous people. For the Canada population, they have the indigenous people, those who come here first, and then we have the French, Canadian, and English Canadian. So these are the three, and the rest we have different ethnicities, and we call it ethno-cultural communities. Like me, I belong to the ethnocultural community. We come from different backgrounds, and because the indigenous people are the first people who come in this land, and this is there, and we're in the Treaty 7. And before, for the history of the indigenous people, they suffer from a painful past. When the white people came, they have some kind of policy. They create something like residential school, and they put all the children of the indigenous people into that school, and they separate them from their parents, and some of the boys and girls are missing during the long time the residential school exists. And recently they have a day in September called Remembrance Day to remind them about the missing children from residential school, and remind people to treat the indigenous people fairly. This is their land, and to give them more respect, to give them more understanding of the culture. And if you come here to Edmonton, you see the homeless people, that's the dark side of the story. But indigenous tourism is something very positive, and you will see how rich is their culture. They have different language, different letter, and they are very good at singing. They're very good at dancing. They are very good at designing their clothes. So I find a lot of talents. But then when we first look at the dark side of things, we don't see the bright side of the things. And they are really very respectful people. For me, I respect them because they have to get over the painful past to live their life right now. And even the people you see in the street, just respect them. Don't be scared of them, just respect them. And if there's something sounds dangerous, the peace officer are around and they will help us. But beyond that I told you about Treaty 7, about indigenous people, what is interesting about Edmonton, we have a lot of places to go. Like I told you, there's more than 60 cultural events happening year-round. And when you go to White Avenue, that's very cosmopolitan area. You find a lot of restaurants around the world. You can eat good food. We have a high-level streetcar where we can go to see the river valley and beautiful nature. I can take you go to downtown, and you can go to 𝘬𝘂𝘀 Center, where they have a beautiful concerts year-round. And I find a feeling of being in Austria, in Vienna. When I go there, I often book the concert to enjoy at 𝘬𝘂𝘀 Center, and they have a lot of music talent. And in the Art Gallery of Alberta, you will see that beautiful building. There are a lot of art exhibition, and beyond that, we have West Edmonton Mall, we have Oilers for sports, and what is good about this city is the sense of community. People are very warm and welcoming, and the government care a lot about community. They invest a lot for families, for improving the quality of life for people. Even in winter, there are some festivals. There are 100, 200 people only, but they organize big events so that the community can join and lift up their spirits. So there are so many good things about the city. If I am the one who do the business in travel, I can categorize on that, and I make you see the bright side of the city. I believe that you will have a different impression about the city.
I would really like to know what Alberta Travel Living does, because you told me earlier just now you're having a MVP gonna be launched soon. And I would love to hear what you do with your startup, and what value does it offer.
I forgot to tell you from the beginning, where do I get the idea of setting up a business in Edmonton. Actually, when I came here, when I first came here, because I speak French and English, there was a entrepreneur competition for immigrants organized by the IRCC, and they sponsor for one organization, and they motivate the immigrants to spread the ideas, a business idea, so that we can bring some practical business idea to life to help boost the economy of Canada. And they organized the competition by region, and the year that I came, they organized the competition for those in Alberta and in Manitoba, and I represent five immigrants who speak French to go to Manitoba for the competition. And then we team up with other people and we work on a business idea. And for me, I already have in mind an idea about travel. I see a lot of potential. I look at the number. This is not a hobby business, and also in that competition, I brought the idea about tourism. Why I have that? Because I look at the numbers. I can tell you some numbers. Just like I need to
No
take that.
worries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like there are 7.7 million visits in Alberta in 2023, and the expenditure of visitors is coming to $11.5 billion. So look at the number of the visits and the number of the expenditure by the visitor economy. That's a lot. And for in Alberta, because of the tourism, they are creating more than 90,000 full-time jobs for people in the region, and it's still very potential, and we can develop more. And I also see that the top international tourists coming to Alberta, they came from the States, they came from Europe, UK, from Germany, from France, and from Asia. They came a lot from Korea and Japan. So we have a lot of potential. And from my mind, when I'm looking for something to book the tour or to see beautiful things, I don't see a lot of options. Actually, when I search online, I go to Expedia, I go to TripAdvisor, I see only few tours. Like going to River Valley, and I don't see a lot of options. But when I discover myself, I find a lot. And in my mind, because I'm originally from Southeast Asia, I compare to a business model which is very successful in Asia. That's Traveloka. You heard about
Yes.
Traveloka, right?
And there's like Klook, there's like, I don't know, yeah, Klook and all this stuff. They have like day tickets. And another one in the Europe or Western countries is called Get Your Guide.
Yeah, Get Your Guide.
Right?
That's it.
I booked something there as
Yeah.
well. And
Yeah.
that's true what you mentioned, because I'm actually going to Banff next week.
Yeah.
After leaving Edmonton, I'll leave to Banff.
Yeah.
Just for a couple of days to see the beautiful Rocky Mountains in
Yeah.
Alberta, like you said. And to be honest, it's so difficult. Like
So
everything
difficult.
is so spread out. They have
Yeah.
their own website, like Banff Adventures, or
Yeah.
another one is
I
Banff
agree.
Shuttles, or
Yeah.
something like that, Canada Shuttles, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just so segregated. Like it's not all in one platform where I can just know which bus or shuttle is bringing me to visit which Rocky Mountains. And I have so many tabs
So
open
many. Yeah.
on my laptop just to
Yeah.
plan the
Oh
trip.
yeah. That's it. You validate my assumption. You know what triggered me to do this business? First is that when people think about Alberta, there's only Banff and Jasper in Alberta, and there's nothing else to see.
Yeah.
And people who came here for the first time, they don't know what is the capital of Alberta. They think that's Calgary.
That was me. that was me. I was thinking, you know, when only I realized Edmonton is the capital city of Alberta. It's
You're
when
surprised.
when I arrived at the airport, I took a Uber, and the Uber driver drive past this sort of like a stop sign, or the sign on the roadside. It says, "Welcome to Edmonton, the capital city of Alberta." Then only I'm like mind blown. Oh my god, it wasn't Calgary, it was
Yeah.
Edmonton. I'm like, okay.
And you know what? People only know about Banff and Jasper, and they're questioning why there are no international airport in Banff. It's the capital city of Alberta. They don't think that it's Edmonton. So you know, Edmonton is very little known by the world, and we have a lot of gems here in Edmonton. I will take you to have a look around to see how beautiful this city is. To have a different perspective from what you saw and you first came with the homeless people. You will see the beautiful iconic bridge, and you will see the beautiful river valley. You will see beautiful architecture, and you have a chance to go to a concert, or you go to White Avenue to see how lively it is, and it's different from where you are staying. And you will have a look around and you will see.
I also have another fun fact to share. It's a surprising one. Is that I was in Vancouver before I come to Edmonton. So there was this mall, and there was Hudson's Bay.
Yeah.
And they were on like 80% liquidation sales. I was surprised, like why this departmental store is closing down, and I searched up on it on the internet.
Yeah.
And I realized that the Hudson's Bay, or the people call it the Bay here,
Yeah.
is actually originate from Edmonton.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You
it
have
was
to
a
discover
surprise
that.
to
Yeah.
me. And I walked past the U of A, and I saw this sign on the wall of the U of A building, and it says, yeah, the Hudson's Bay company was incorporated here in Edmonton in the 1907.
Yeah.
1907. So
They had just been sold out. Hudson Bay.
yeah,
You
yeah.
read about that, right?
Yeah, I read about it.
Yeah, but like there are a lot of facts about the city. When you came here on a day, there's a match of Oiler. You will see
Yes.
the
ice
ambience.
hockey,
Yeah,
right?
the ice hockey. That way you will love it. And in summer you come here for some kind of festival. Like we have the Heritage Festival, where we have a lot of tents of many different cultures. You will find it's very interesting. We find a tent for Malaysia, for Filipino, for many African countries, and you can taste the food of different countries. And there are a Thousand Faces Festival, when you see a lot of beautiful dancing then of different dancers in the world. You will find that, oh, it's different. And I also have a Facebook page for the Vietnamese community. They feel so depressed when they are here, and they say, I want to go home, he is so boring. And I'm the one who founded that Facebook group called What's Fun in Edmonton. And every time I post about that, people who live here for 20 years, 30 years, they say, wow, we have been here for 30 years and we don't know what you know.
Yeah, that's what I heard about your stories, and I find it so interesting that you're so positive. You're so adventurous, that you're always exploring and collecting all these stories. I really hope you continue on whatever you're doing and share the stories to people.
Yeah.
Right?
And for making to the business that the Alberta Travel Living, what I want to do with that, I was just about to tell you about the inspiration from Traveloka. Traveloka, they are Indonesian-based company.
Yeah.
They're a tech company in travel and leisure. And you know what? They have raised $2.4 billion over the 5 round, and the investors see the potential of the travel and a leisure business, and they can invest that much to Traveloka, and they get big success because they connect a lot of business into their platform. They have more than 80,000 providers, suppliers, and partners. So that's something we can do here in Edmonton and in Alberta. There are some websites like Travel Alberta. They collect more than 6,000 providers, verified provider on their website already. And then we have a lot of users like you come here for the first time, you don't know which service is reliable. And for my platform, there are 3 things I would like to do. The first thing, I would like to make how to say, personalized itinerary, so that when you come to my platform, you input like Audrey came to Edmonton for 3 days and she's looking for things to do within 72 hours. And she likes to discover food, she likes to discover art, culture. What should she do within 100 kilometers or less? And it will pop out to you like a personalized itinerary, like day 1 from what time, what you do, day 2, day 3. If you do that at lunch or at dinner, where should you go for lunch to eat, to try new food, or for dinner, which kind of food you should try, and where's the best part in the city that you should try, for instance. And then we can connect to the provider in the city and ask them to get some kind of commission, like the model of Traveloka. And we can also connect you to some spa or beauty experience. You go to spa for relaxation, you go to the movie or go to a concert in the city where you look for that. So I would like to make a platform giving you all that tool and connect to the providers. And now we can start with some providers who are willing to work with us first in restaurant, in a spa, beauty, or ticketing, and they can connect us to that. But not like the other platform who focus on air ticket or hotels. I don't think that's the big focus of me, but because from my heart I want to do something for people who come to Edmonton from international or people who come to Edmonton from other provinces. They will find something valuable for them and to appreciate the city more. So I would like to have that platform. I will combine on gap data. We will use different kind of AI to help that realize, right? We go to different AI conferences to get the idea and what it can help. And I learned a lot from other competitors in the market. Right here in Edmonton, we don't really have a lot of competitors in that. We have a few companies, but they focus more on information. They provide a lot of information. But then you have to open 10 tabs at the same time on your laptop, as you say, to search out which one you get, right?
Yes.
And we also did a survey for building our business and validate our assumption. And people will spend in average 7 days to find out something to do and to make a decision about their trip. So it takes way too much time for them. And if I can use AI and data analytics or Google Cloud and API to collect all kind of information and make it in a platform and export something valuable for you, and then connect you to providers and boost more job for more providers like that, I believe that it will benefit greatly for this province. And when I came to the competition in Manitoba, as I told you, I met a lot of people from the ministry in Ottawa. And she also told me that, oh, I like your model. And it can be multiplied for many other provinces in Canada because we are so spread out. And if we have a tool like that, not only in Alberta, but in smaller province, like you go to Northwest Territories, you go to Nova Scotia, you go to 10 different provinces of Canada, and you have something like that, we guide you and connect you. It would be a very big idea, and everybody will appreciate Canada more.
That's great. That's awesome story that even the minister of travel industry, like they even validated your idea.
Not the in the travel industry, but they come from IRCC and they look for a new business idea, and they came to boost the economy through the newcomers. And people from the ministry, they appreciate that also.
Yeah, exactly. And so my next very curious question is that how big is your team and how long have you been building this startup?
Yeah, actually, for my team right now, I started the idea with myself first, and then I have a co-founder. He's a tech person, so we work in the same the same project where we went to Manitoba, and we both live in Edmonton, so we keep the project alive and keep on doing that. And right now we connecting with more people in Edmonton for designing for MVP something, and to make it big. Today, if you're asking about the size for startup, normally we think big, but we should start small. And today, I listened to a workshop during 𝘂𝗵𝗂𝗫𝗀 from the Ministry of Technology, not Globish. I don't know if you attend that session.
I know it's very early in the morning. It's 9 something.
Yes, and then he talked about something I find very interesting. He said that somebody asked him to hire more staff, and he will ask that people, has they used AI for that job already before hiring somebody, right?
Yes.
And now we can use AI agent or AI to save a lot of jobs.
Exactly.
But now when you ask me about the size of the people in the team, we have the model like contractors or collaborators, but I don't hire staff from the beginning to pay
Right.
full-time job at this stage, because that's not necessary, and we can use a lot of AI tools.
Exactly. I do agree with you. So you're only you and your co-founder,
Yeah.
and that's the same for my startup as
Yeah.
well. He's a technical guy. He is David. He's building it, our product, and I'm here on a business trip, and I do the selling, fundraising, marketing, everything on me. So I think we're similar,
Yeah.
very lean startup, I would
Yeah.
say.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yep.
I also heard a lot of funding event in Edmonton, and there was somebody who asked why there are so many startups who came in like lions and come out like lambs. You know what it means? Like they come in lion noisy,
Yeah.
running a lot, but then it come out that the idea doesn't work, and then
Mhm.
it come out like lamb suddenly, come in noisily, come out
Is it-
suddenly. So I don't want to do that.
Is that the
Yeah.
case in Edmonton?
Yeah, there are many cases like that, not only in Edmonton but everywhere. When staff become, they say, oh, it's big, it's like this, it's like that, but I think I prefer to come like a lamb, just silently, but later I can be like a lion. So
I
it takes
do
time.
agree. I totally agree. Like you don't need to be like, oh, I have a team of 10 or 20 and I have raised funds like 100,000 or 200,000, and it's just suddenly they spend all their money,
Yeah.
and they run out of the runway and there's no money to survive and people start to leave.
Yeah.
We are also lean that we start small and just build our MVP,
Yeah.
like what we are doing right now.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
And just slowly
Yeah,
generate
slowly.
revenue
Yes.
first.
I also heard some very precious advice from the mentors here in Edmonton. They tell me, don't build anything, don't sell anything unless you have the client. You mean, I know, so I'm thinking more about that, and that's very right, because during the phase of building the first MVP, we should go out. We sell awkwardly. People may say that, oh, you're not professional yet. This is not something that's gonna work, and they criticize you a lot. But that's the critical things, because if we build something in real, we put a lot of money, and they give us the same feedback, and they talk bad about the product. So what the point selling that? I would prefer building something very basic, and I will go out with my courage to say awkwardly, say, this is my first version of product. Can you please try and give me what you like, what you don't like? Honestly, I want to learn. So we do more of that to do the customer discovery, and what the client doesn't like or like, we take more time with that job. Is better than we say, oh, we are ready, we are commercialized, but in reality, when those who are politely told us that, oh, that's wonderful, that's good, that's not good, let them buy by their own money, they will tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think validation in the beginning for us as a startup founder is so important. Like, even for me, we got validations first. We got seven business partners who are interested in converting into a paid customer first. Then only we start building, and even then, we take our time to launch a proper product that they can actually use. So our startup is sort of different. We are not building a software. We're building actually training AI model to build this entire AI product. So it actually takes time. But of course, in the upfront, we already have lined up customers who are willing to be our POCs. That's why we're pretty much quite okay with that. And I would really like to hear more about the startup ecosystem in Edmonton, because we're here in Edmonton Unlimited, which is a place where the startup community is gathered, and you are here regularly. I heard from the guards outside, and how is it like being a startup founder in Edmonton?
Yeah, being a startup founder in Edmonton is really one of the most wonderful things that happened to me, because before, in my home country, I also have a startup. And when I started my business, I have to pay a lot of money to study on the knowledge, like from taxation, like how to do the digital marketing, how to do the funding, everything. And I need to pay a lot of money for everything. But when I came to Edmonton, there are some incubators like Edmonton Unlimited, and even for myself, I am a volunteer for Edmonton Regional Innovation Network, and I'm working for the governance committee and making policy. And I can find that the ecosystem for startup in Edmonton is really amazing. Why? Because not only we have the free support in terms of knowledge, in terms of conditions for us to build our idea, to network, but we have a lot of people who go before us, and they share with us very generously about what they have learned. When you come to a space like Edmonton Unlimited, or you go to Amy, or tonight you go to Tech West Day, the startup ecosystem, especially in tech, is really wonderful. You can find the whole week many events for you to go to. Even for ATB, the Bank of Alberta, they have entrepreneur event and hub, so that you can go and ask them anything. If you want to set up your business, you have Business Link. It's also free for you. And if you would like to get the clarity about the law or anything, you go to City of Edmonton. They also have a hub to have the startup to do that, even for free. And after you set up your startup, your company, and you still need legal support, you can go to some university like post-secondary institution, and they have student in laws. They can give you the free advice. That's not official, but like you understand a lot more before you work with a lawyer, and that's precious.
It sounds like everything is free as
Yeah.
being a startup founder here.
Yeah, it seems to me like that. It's everything is free for those who want to start up something, have innovation. If you have some idea and you come here, people will help you. Like in Edmonton Unlimited, they have a business model 101, and they have a lean canvas model with 9 rubric, and you can analyze if your idea is good, what is the unique value proposition, who are your competitors, how is your business model, how your financial model. They help you to evaluate everything from the beginning, and then you will see, oh, this idea, not only me thought about that, but many people had the same idea before, and who are my competitors. And they will help you to look around to understand more about your competitors. And for Business Link, if you want to do a market research about what you're working, you don't know the markets, right? The people like me, we come here for 3 years. Of course, even I know a lot more than a lot of people who don't look for the same information as me. But I still need a lot of knowledge, local knowledge. I can go to them and I ask them to make a free market research for me, and they can have the fun to do that.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
So, startup founders, if you want to build a startup, I think Edmonton is a place for you.
Yeah, Edmonton is a good place, and I think that in Calgary they have a lot of funding and a lot of bigger facilities than Edmonton. But what I like about Edmonton is that it's still small, and there are a lot of support, and there are a lot of opportunities which is uncovered. People look at this city with a different eyes. Just like you come here for the first time, you will see things that you don't want to return, because you don't have enough time to dig deeper and see with different eyes. But like for me, people may call me crazy. Why you want to make a startup about travel in Edmonton? But I am very confident that I'm doing the right thing, because I see the potential of the city. And if there's no pioneer like me who will push the tourism of this city, people don't see the good things, but we can see with our own eyes, and we have a vision about the future. And because this is like the capital of the city, of course, sooner or later people will come here more. And if you look at the statistics, Alberta is one of the fastest growing province in Canada, and people move from different province to Alberta, especially to Edmonton and Calgary, and they move from overseas to Alberta. They move from different provinces to Alberta. That number is growing very much. And compared to Calgary, everything in Edmonton is cheaper. For the housing, is cheaper. For the support to community, is very good in Edmonton, and then we have a lot of space. And the population here is around 1.5 million, and compared to Calgary is 2 million something. And we are very similar to Calgary, but for housing and for supporting for everything, Edmonton is very good, and they need more people to develop the city.
So just now we were so these 3 days we will be at 𝘱𝗵𝗊, and of course Amy is right next door here. And what we know a lot about, since we are attending this AI event or AI conference, is that there's a lot of tech talents or AI talents, or basically very capable, smart people here. And that's where you're based in as well, in Edmonton here. That you have so many access to these talents. And there's a U of A, University of Alberta, right next door. And I think it's the best place, and everything you say is free here, basically, for startup founders. So I think it's really interesting. And I think so another experience I get was that we joined the Amy Kickstart program early this year, right? And people don't know about Amy, which is the top AI research center in Canada. There's top 3 AI research lab, which is Amy, 𝘧𝘬𝘀𝘀, and 𝘧𝗵𝗂𝗏. 𝘧𝘬𝘀 is based in University of Toronto, and 𝘵𝗂 is in University of Montreal. So all these AI talents is in Canada. And when there's a Malaysian who is still studying in university, she was thinking of extending her course, like in masters in AI. And she asked me where to go. Her first choice was in UK or Australia, and she never even considered Canada.
Wow. Oh no, that's the pity, right?
And I did of course, I, as a startup founder, I advise her that actually, if you're doing AI, Canada is the place. And I really wanted to sort of like get affiliation with Amy. Just to be frank here, is that we need the world to know more about the AI that is the research lab is at the forefront. With those frontier model, all were produced from Canada. Right.
So I'm curious to know, how do you know about AI, Amy, in Alberta, in Edmonton?
Well, actually, because my co-founder is a technical guy, he's very specialized in machine learning. And also, of course, he learned about reinforcement learning, which is like a big thing here in Amy. He told me to take the Amy Kickstart program, and that's why I'm in. And then suddenly in March this year, Professor Rich Sutton, which became the father of RL, got awarded with a Turing Award. Which is the biggest thing in the computer science world, where all the tech people are, which is the highest award for tech people.
Wow,
and
that's wonderful.
Exactly, and that's why I guess 𝘱𝗵𝗊 tickets are sold out this year. I think everyone's coming to really watch their pride in this. And I think people really need to know that with AI now is so advanced, and everyone talks about AI in this world right now.
That's right.
They need to know more about Canada.
Yes. Actually, when we attend the 𝘱𝗵𝗊 2025, there's so many things that we can learn. Early this year, we studied Kickstart Amy, and I learned a lot. And I learned about the potential of applying Google Cloud into our AI project, and we have a chance to learn more. And this morning, I attended a lot of talk from the government of Alberta, from the Ministry of Technology, and I'm more confident about the potential of the city, because they are very practical in their approach. They are practical in the way that we study AI not for the sake of technology, not to be updated, but to have an outcome. When we talk about AI, how we get the best outcome of AI in to resolve our problem, because AI is not an artificial intelligence of issue, but it's a human issues, a human service, as they talked about this morning. And the Minister of Technology, he also shared that he has a background in business, but he believes in the potential of using AI in all aspect of life to get the best of it, to serve us better, to get the outcome. So I believe that people see the potential of AI to develop some solution uh, in all the aspect of life. And when you and me, we are here for Amy to learn more about tech, and we are discussing about tech for travel industry, and tech can also be applied for many other sectors. So it's really vital.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So we have talked a lot about the good things about Edmonton and Canada. What are the challenges for you as a startup founder? And what would be your ask if the audience are listening to you right now? Like, what would be the challenge and the ask that would best help your startup?
That's a great question. You know what? When I first decided to launch a startup or business in Alberta or in Edmonton, my first scare is about the density of population. I used to come from high density cities in the world. I have been living in Ho Chi Minh City. We have 15 million people in just one city, and in the whole country we have more than 100 million people. But in my city alone, we have 15 million people, and after that, I live in Paris. We have 12 million people in the city. So there are so many consumers. And if we want to sell something, we have consumers and users. That's very important. But when I come to Edmonton, we have only more than 1 million people in this city. And in the whole Alberta province, we have about 5 million people only. So if you have um, uh, not we don't have a lot of people here, but we also look at the current culture. How do they approach the travel? They often drive their car to go around, and they don't use the service provider. So if we want to build up something, we have to educate the users about AI. We have to educate the user about how to adopt a better solution than what they are using right now. And that's an important part and the challenge of any startup, I think, especially in Canada. When people have a different culture, and when for me, I am an immigrant, I need to learn more about their culture. That's why I go to all the events everywhere I go, so people know my face. It's very
You're so
popular.
Yes.
I'm so popular face
I
because
know.
I'm
Even I know
everywhere.
you.
I go to everywhere because I want to know more about the culture. I want to talk to different people, understanding what they think. It will take some time, and that's a challenge. And secondly, um, you know, we go to a lot of workshop today, and they talk about funding, right? It's not easy to raise a funding for at a pre-seed stage when we are building something and it doesn't lead to an immediate outcome and get immediate money. We cannot get that, and that's why we need to bootstrap.
Exactly.
Yeah, bootstrapping. And if we keep on doing that, one day we will achieve. But like for me, in order to be able to bootstrap, I need to work extra, not
Yeah.
only on this business, but like before I have another job. I work as a social worker, and I support the family here. Because of that, I get inspired also. I work with the ethno-cultural communities, and I got inspired by the difficulty they have to face, and I put a solution to help that. But I think it's kept me either way, to bootstrapping for my business and to understand more about the need of the customers. So we all need to do that. That's a challenge. We are a startup founder, and we don't have money from the beginning. Of course, the financial challenge is like critical. And secondly, it's about the population, and also when I'm developing the tourism and travel sector, we have to change the mindset of people. Those who come here at first, they have a bad impression of the city, and we need to wait for what the city is doing to get it improved, and then it will improve our business at the same time.
Exactly, I totally agree, and I love that what you mentioned about startup founder. Like we have to survive first before we even like jump all in our
That's
startup
right.
without generating revenue yet. And there's a very long road to even generating the first dollar, right?
That's right.
And there's a lot of work, and we still need to survive this.
That's right.
And I personally know this myself, even though it's just the first 6 months of my startup journey. Yeah, and I totally love what you have mentioned just now. And speaking of which, changing people's habit and mindset to adopt a new solution that is new to them. Even though what you mentioned is Traveloka has been doing that for a long time, but doesn't mean that the people here locally are adopting those solutions or software or platform right now.
That's right.
And
gradually it happened, but not immediately. And even with Traveloka, they have they can build up to nearly 4,000 employees working for the company. And right now, me myself 4 compared to 4,000, how long can we get there? And they can raise $2.5 billion, and how long can I get there? And to make the investor be convinced about my vision, about what I'm doing. But like we don't, as many people advise us, we don't look at the money when we are a startup, but we are looking at making an impact and making the value, building a quality business first. That should be our focus. But in order to do that, we have to do that with heart, and we can pour all the energy, all the passion into our business.
Yeah, that's what's special about startup founders.
That's right. But when we come here to Edmonton Unlimited or to the startup community like this one in Edmonton, I feel like fuel up every time.
Yeah,
they are all
you're
the startup,
so inspired every day because they're
surrounded by the people who work for a passion like us, and we are supported by the people who know the difficulties that we have to go through, and they support us all the way, and we don't give up because we move with the community, the startup and the innovation community. So that's why we can go in a long way. If you go alone, you feel so lonely and tired, but every time you come here, look at these people outside you go to talk to them, and they will share with you the same difficulties that you are having. So that's so great to have a community like this.
Well, you have convinced me to move here in Edmonton to do my startup. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me in this the Mini CEO podcast journey, and I would really like to publish this podcast interview with you that is as soon as possible, because I want to share it with the world, like how beautiful Edmonton, Alberta is. And thank you so much for joining me in this.
Yeah, thank you so much, Audrey, for having me. And for my ask, if later I would like to convince people like you to see the potential, the beauty of Edmonton and of Alberta, and they travel more to Edmonton, come here and ask me about what the city has to offer. I will be the first one to tell you about why this city is so wonderful. And secondly, I'm launching like an MVP, and I want people to help me testing, give me an idea, so that I can improve and keep on improving for the sake of the community, and everyone is happy and seeing the city is a different way and the Alberta is a different way, just like I do. So I would love to do that. And if those who are inspired by my project and they would like to look for collaboration, partnership, funding, being a service provider, and together with me promote their business, I would love to have that as well. So again, thank you so much for having me, and it's so wonderful to talk to you. And I feel so honored because you're all the way from Malaysia, from Southeast Asia, and we have a chance to meet here and discuss about AI, about startup. That's just really wonderful. I do appreciate that.
Thank you so much. And I will drop the link of your LinkedIn or your website on our YouTube channel or LinkedIn or Spotify, where I'll post the video.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Check it out.